Welcome to
How to Society.
On today's episode, we're talking about aliens. Do they exist? Are they
Or
real?
Is it just a cultural narrative?
Well, how many times is an alien encounter done by somebody who happens to be holding a Budweiser can? So,
Almost all of them.
also, the other thing, there's been some correlation between, unrest and, very tense times and higher activity of alien sightings. So, during big wars, during all that,
Well, there's been a lot of people who speculate that aliens have just become the new fairies or leprechauns, things like that.
Exactly.
Like, all these, experiences that people used to have. The other thing, though, if you're on they're real and they're actually visiting us, is there was a giant uptick in them since we've discovered nuclear technology, supposedly.
Yeah.
So.
But then there was a big uptick during World War II. There was a big uptick during Afghanistan thing. So
They don't like it when we fight.
Hey, I'm sorry. The best way to keep a secret is to just tell everybody.
Sure. And
because nobody's gonna believe you.
There's been all those videos released, declassified.
And the government said that they have parts of spaceships not made on this world.
Plus, again, those videos, that's pretty hard evidence. I mean,
TikToks,
of what?
TikToks.
I don't know, but...
Yep. Definitely some technology that we don't understand.
Now, here's the issues. So, it's called the Fermi...
The Fermi program, yep.
Fermi paradox?
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So basically, it's a mathematical thing where if there was intelligent life, they should have by now.
Yes, but
had made contact.
that is also assuming that we are not one of the ancient life things that came into existence. It's like they're saying that more than likely another species popped up, but what if we're unique and we are one of the earlier adepts of life?
And so that's why there's a few parts to that. And so there's we are the first. There's we are the last.
Mm-hmm.
There's a massively cannibalistic species out there that's been eating everything else out there. There is the Great Filter Theory, which is that there's this event that wipes all life, and we don't know on what side of it we're on. But statistically, there should be life. However, there hasn't been any contact, so there probably isn't.
Well,
The other side of it is, if there is, they're not talking to us could mean two things. Either they think we're too dumb to talk to, or they're not advanced enough to talk to us. I mean, just leaving a solar system takes a lot of power and energy and wealth.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty hard to do. But if, the universe has been around for a while, so there should have been at least one other civilization capable of space travel.
right. But I mean, we also haven't been looking up at the stars to try and confirm whether or not they're out there for all that long either.
True. But we have for a while now, and we haven't gotten anything even... There was one thing recently where they got the signal, but it was... They kind of figured out what it was. It's not a thing, it wasn't...
Yeah, but that still comes back to those spaceships, those videos. Like, what are those? Are they foreign, vessels that another country has somehow made? Or are they aliens who just hide themselves from us because they're like, nah, you guys are still blowing each other up with nuclear...
Exactly, and it could be a straight up, like in Star Trek, where we're not to the point where they can talk to us, they're just observing. So that could be a thing.
I think they're probably just mining our planet. We don't even know about it.
That would explain global warming.
Well, and that's quite if we're the dumb species that aliens come to versus if we're the smart species that find aliens, how do you think human race is going to react differently in those situations. Like, if we're the ones that control everything, I think we're just going to autopsy everything.
So here's the problem. And so, along your words, it's known what would happen.
Right.
It would be the same thing as when the Spanish came to the New World. The difference is on which one we would be. Whether we would be the Spanish or whether we would be the natives.
Right.
And so it's pretty straightforward. Whoever the superior one will show up and bring all their plagues with them, including all their technology and all their vices and all their things, destroying the majority of the native population.
Right.
So if we are the Spaniards, in this case, we're gonna single-handedly wipe another civilization, or vice versa. So that could be a reason why we haven't had contact.
But I think that, I mean, if you're talking about going interstellar space here, like, I think they probably have some way of neutralizing their viruses, diseases from, transmitting to another species. I mean, I don't know.
So remember, our human body, you can't sanitize it because you'd kill yourself. So unless you were in a bubble, a perfect bubble, which there is no such thing. I mean, even if you could probably attest for this, that bubbles that they put people who are immunocompromised, they're not 100%. There's always, because you need to get air in and air out. And that creates issues. Anything that would destroy all viruses will kill you as well.
Well, I mean,
Does that make sense?
What about Star Trek? They have their...
It's called
A
Star Trek.
TV show?
Yeah, it's fake.
It's fake.
And even then, in Star Trek, I'm just using your own theory. How many diseases did they not bring on board? And it happened more than once.
Sometimes, but most of the
Well-
time they had a filter system through their
No,
transporter.
almost every time the disease escaped
I feel
the
like there could be a
filter.
lot more times.
I know, you're right, but they can only filter
Yes,
things you
yes,
know about.
yes.
If you don't know about it, you can't
Well,
filter it.
that
So
would be my point. So the reality is our only understanding of biology comes from us, and another species on another planet is going to have a completely different biology.
what if it's a race of broccoli people?
That would be pretty cool. Would we eat
Mushroom.
them?
Probably.
It would be mushroom people.
Yeah,
Oh,
we need
that-
them too.
Yeah.
We need them too. Could you imagine?
Sauteed and on our
these plant people just come
cows.
down. We come in peace. You look fucking delicious.
It's sad, but probably would happen.
I don't know.
We
I
eat people.
Some people eat people, but I think that we will.
Happens more often than you want to admit.
We are becoming more civilized to a point.
We're really
where I
not.
Feel like
We're regressing.
We are.
I think you guys are looking at the negatives. Like, honestly.
I think you're just sticking your head in the sand and going, la la la.
No. I understand how evil people can be, but I'm saying that, like, if you look at it historically, we are advancing. We are becoming a kinder, more empathetic species. I'm sorry, but back in the Iron Age, they were murdering people and sticking their head on pikes. Like, there's a large difference between societies.
Google
then
it.
and now.
I guarantee you it happened yesterday. Or today, hell.
Well, there are radical groups out there killing people, but we don't have cities surrounded by the skulls of the people that we vanquished.
I guarantee you there is.
Well, yeah,
Actually, there
It's
is.
buried.
Have you never heard of the catacombs of France?
That's legit. All skull and bones.
Yes, but those were also burial sites, some of them. It's
Yeah.
not necessarily all just murdering people.
That's fine, but you can't really attest for how many bodies have been put down there.
Right, but
But
again, I'm talking about the overall violence of the
I
society.
don't think it's changed, to be honest.
I don't see how
It's
that...
just been modernized. I
Yeah.
don't know how
It's
to
been-
prove that
yes,
point to
so-
describe it any better.
I honestly don't think we've changed as a people all that much throughout the ages.
It's been accepted more.
I wouldn't even say it like that. I'd say it's been regionalized, if you will. So all the same Holocausts, all the same murders are happening somewhere else. So here in the U.S., it might be a little nicer, which is a bad thing to say because we still have school shootings on a bi-monthly basis. But
Well, not recently.
because there's no school! Anywho. But you get what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
like it's because it's not happening here doesn't mean it's not happening. And you gotta remember that the things we know about the past were localized because there was no what's the word?
International.
Globalization
Right.
back then. So you were hearing isolated accounts just as they happen now. So we've moved a little bit from the caveman years where you would literally go out there and grab the first good-looking chick or less hairy chick and drag her in. But you know what I mean. It's still that. Look at India. How many rapes have happened in the last couple of years? So it hasn't changed. We just don't have a club anymore. We have a gun now.
Or like concentration camps. Germany had them. We had them, and now we've got detention
China's got 'em?
centers.
I'm gonna tell you one of the scariest shit that I heard about, and I don't know if it's still happening. It probably is. They found not a center. It was basically a hospital, right? Where they had people chained to beds, and they literally bled them and sold the blood to hospitals. They found that, and they had a full staff, medical staff, to keep these people alive,
Oh my
so
gosh.
that they could bleed them. If we are capable of doing that, do you really think we wouldn't do that to another species?
I mean, those stories out there of organs being stolen
Uh-huh.
from people waking up in bathtubs full of ice. I mean, we have those stories for
Yeah.
a reason.
Yeah, but I'd still say that overall we are becoming a more peaceful society than we have ever been at any point in time.
I don't agree. I think it's just more localized. So
But see, you could also say that we are being inundated with more of the violence than we've ever seen before. So you could say that
it breaks even.
Right.
Literally, it's not better, it's not worse. That's kind of the whole point of it. Nothing was better once upon a time, or is better now. Or it might be better, but we don't know that yet. So it just is. It's usually pretty much, it averages out. There's always going to be horrible things, and there's always going to be really good things to cancel it out.
And that's why if I was an alien species, I would not come.
Right? No kidding.
I just observe and get the fuck out of here
Yeah.
before they started trying to
'Cause
fuck my
right?
blowhole.
Oh, because I know they would like that's the thing. If we get aliens, people are just gonna want to chop them up into pieces
Yeah.
and study them. I mean, that's what we want to do now to humans.
Yeah.
Only it's illegal to do it.
Well, we
before
already
they're
did
dead.
it to humans. That's how we know so
Yes.
much about human anatomy.
I
Grey's
Grey's Anatomy.
I was gonna
That's
say,
a
we're talking about
show.
Grey's Anatomy?
No, Grey's is the guy who wrote the book.
Oh, on the Alien, the Greys.
No. Grey. You know the dude, the skeletal and the muscle. The guy is called Grey something. I can't remember.
I don't know.
Anyway, that's how all that knowledge came to be. They literally took cadavers and
Right.
sometimes they killed people just to study them.
But I mean, most of that was done with cadavers that they got through legal.
Do I have to talk
ways.
about the two dudes in Scotland?
Sure, I guess.
They started off stealing cadavers, and then they found out that they could just skip the middleman and kill people.
This stuff really happens.
Yeah.
Well, and think of and that's the thing. It's sometimes a lot of our medical advances come from the horrible things we have done to people.
Yeah.
I mean, we were just talking earlier, like that's where we learned about hypothermia is from the concentration camps and the
Chemotherapy.
studies they did on the Jewish people.
So the reality is, we are not ready to meet another
Oh,
civilization.
no.
And another civilization is not ready,
Ready
to
to
meet
meet
us.
us.
Like, we're the
Well, here's the
backwoods people of the universe.
Right, well,
We have banjos.
Well, and that's the thing. Another race would come to us and we'd be like, we deserve equal rights.
And they'd
You
be
know?
like, you fuckers can barely get off your planet.
Also, here's
Right?
here's the other
We
big
should
point.
be the ones in charge.
So the main reason
It's our
that
human spirit.
the main reason so many people are so gung ho about aliens is because either one, they're freaks who wants to have sex with them, and there are a lot of those.
Yes.
I know some people.
I know some
There is the people who think that they're gonna have a magic pill solution to every world problem that we have, and then there's the third that just believe
Don't
in.
want to be alone in this universe.
Yeah, they don't want to. They want a reason to exist.
I guess I fall more in the second category because I do think that if an alien species came into contact with us, it would change human society to such a point that
They couldn't give it to us, though.
I don't know.
There's an entire paradox about technology and giving a species
Right.
more than they can handle.
Right, but I mean, even if we 100% knew that there was an alien species, you don't think that the world would have to come together at a certain point to be like,
The only way that Independence Day, maybe, but even then, do you know what would happen? And COVID has enlightened us all. There'd be so many people who wouldn't believe in it and would refuse to fight for the cause if we were being attacked by aliens.
Or you'd have the people who would sympathize with the
Yeah,
aliens.
and
they
want to
would
go live with
yeah.
them.
Yeah, like in Independence
There is no
Day,
uniting
where they all were
humanity.
like by the White House and like,
Yes.
yeah, we're so happy we're
We
here.
love you, yes.
Bam, they all died.
Or let's go for a less famous movie, Mars Attack.
Oh my
with
God,
the doll
that's-
movie.
Yeah.
Release the peace dolls.
I would totally be one of the people at the White House who got exploded. I would rather die in that. I'd rather be incinerated in that first moment than have to fight an alien species.
Then
with
have to
superior
live
technology.
in the aftermath
Yeah,
of War of the
yes.
Worlds.
I would rather believe in the good than have to live in the bad.
Yeah, it's a tricky thing. Now, there
I
might
would
come a
be-
day when it might be possible, but I still think that. So going back to the whole exploitation of, say, they had a solution to energy for one. What would happen is one government would take over it and then keep it from the rest of the world and try and make money
take
from
over.
it. Yep.
Well, just like we've done with nuclear technology.
Mm-hmm.
I say, I know that if aliens ever came to us, I'd probably become a social justice warrior for them.
Even though they might be trying to suck your blood.
Well, I mean, not if they're bad, but I feel like if we ever
No,
come
you're
into
thinking
contact,
vampire. I'm thinking like a giant mosquito.
See, I think if we ever come into contact with aliens, that quite frankly, we're gonna be the assholes.
Oh yeah.
They're probably
Right.
gonna be more enlightened if they're coming
I
to
would
us,
agree
in
with
my
this. I would agree
opinion.
with this.
And
There
I
are a
think
lot of asshole humans.
our race, exactly, I think our race would try and take advantage of them.
I still think it's a 50-50 where they're probably going to be just as bad.
Right, because I mean, they had to survive to this point for a
Mhm.
reason. Like, there's no way in the early days of evolution you're getting through that without
Yep.
having some kind of viciousness within your genetic code.
Exactly. Because that's the whole point of evolution. It's literally survival of the fittest. It doesn't care about niceties. It literally eats everything.
Yeah, until you can start creating a culture, there is no reason to be empathetic. You know what I mean? In a primal world where everything is out to kill everything. Yeah, I don't know.
Star
got
Trek
anything?
wasn't out to kill everybody.
I mean, the only thing, like, going back to, talking about, like, the declassification, there was that one dude on the Joe Rogan Experience who was talking about it, and, from the videos, it was legit, like, this oval thing, and it moved in unnatural directions from what the dude said, that there's no vehicle on the planet
Right?
that could do it.
That's known to us at the moment.
Yeah, that's no.
Because I also watched a video not that long ago of this thing. It was like, the only way I can explain it, it was basically a rocket engine type of thing, but with multi-directional, and they had it tied with chains so it wouldn't go all out of crazy. And then the way that thing was moving, it was doing shit that I didn't think was possible. Hey! Mabel, come here.
Yep. But do you think it's fair to compare your knowledge with that of a Navy pilot?
So, most Navy pilots don't have to go to school for anything.
Okay.
But you're still talking about people who spend all of their time in planes and
True.
understand the aerodynamics of all this.
However, here's the big thing, Bill. It doesn't take much to understand how planes fly, and I get it that gravity and shit prevents you from doing certain maneuvers, because just the fact that if you did that, the G-force would literally kill you or knock you out. I get that. However, they wouldn't technically be allowed to talk about everything that's out there, so what's the easiest route to go? Oh yeah, it's an alien. here's the thing. So many of the alien sightings have been around bases that are known for research into new technology. And then, if you correlate the sightings, literally it correlates with the releases of new... So, like, for instance, when the V-2 bomber was released, a bunch of sightings happened. So, it always correlates with a release of a new thing.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about lay people seeing it.
That's fine.
Like this, and
People
like if you
are
listen,
horrible
yes,
witnesses.
Agreed. But if you listen to this guy, he's like, no. I flew next to the, like, I saw them, I tracked them. Like, these are not things that we have the technology for. And he's like I know.
But he's not an engineer. He's just a pilot. So his limit of knowledge will be to what he's had access to.
Yeah, but
So let's say it's not from the U.S. I doubt the Russians would be able. Let's say the Chinese have some new type of thing. He would have no idea about it. Does that make sense? He would only be able to compare to what he's seen.
right, but I mean, the common theory would be that if that technology existed, we would know about it, or
Not necessarily.
they would at least have to split. Because if they have technology that is so superior to ours, why wouldn't they have used it by now?
Because it might still be under development. The other argument would be, what if it's not being piloted, if it's an unmanned thing? And that would account for being able to move however the fuck it wants, you know?
Well, but it's not even the G-forces they're talking about. They're talking about the speeds it was able to accomplish are utterly impossible.
You should see what drones can do.
Right, and I understand this, but he, even from that perspective, he said, because it went from, like, some amount of feet to another amount, it was like in a matter of
You should
seconds.
see what drones can do.
I understand.
Like, I got into, like, high-end drones. The shit that they can do is mind-boggling. And that's just a
But
fucking
there's
drone.
a difference between like hundreds of feet and thousands of feet.
No.
Yes.
No, because it's the same technology.
No,
It's the same amount of power.
But we only have so much power that these things can produce, and we don't have the technology to produce enough power for it to go boop boop. And they've actually seen them come out of the water. So it's like
Drones can do that.
Maybe, but
So, I get... No. Trust me, I get what you're saying. But here's the thing. Again, so many accounts have been debunked once we see the new generation of shit.
okay. So what about the government thing that said that they have pieces of a ship that were not created on this planet?
I don't know.
See it when we
I
believe
just don't know how you get around it.
Well, they could literally be lying.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose.
Because, I mean, if you think about it,
It's
there was the whole, like, oh, on this date we're storming Area 51, they can't stop us all. So, and then, what was it, a matter of months later that they released all this stuff and was saying all this stuff? It could be just them saying, oh yeah, hold on,
We'll give you some.
we're true,
Yeah.
this is true, you guys were right, we were hiding stuff from you.
right.
And it
Leave
could
us
be
alone.
just a bunch of bullshit.
I suppose.
I mean, so there's been, for as many accounts from, like, government personnel that there have been about aliens being real, there's been just as many accounts of other government personnel saying how they literally, this is what they were really doing and this is what they said they were doing. So let's talk about the most famous, Roswell. They claimed it was a weather balloon. What it was actual sensors to pick up nuclear devices. Of course they're not going to come out and say, oh, we can figure out all sorts of shit about what's happening in the atmosphere for radiation levels. No, they're going to say, yeah, it was a weather device. And then let everybody with their crazy alien theories hide the rest of the truth. Again, I go back to the B-2 bomber. There was the SR-71. They're not going to come out and tell you the shit that before the SR-71 came out, nobody thought it was possible to do what that plane can do. Because we didn't have the capabilities of doing it. And yet, there it is. It still has numbers that boggle the mind. Now, it's obsolete because you can just use a satellite. Way cheaper. But you get my point. Like,
Right.
we only know what we know until we know something new. So,
Right.
saying that it's not possible for something to happen is stupid.
Right, so that's it. Right, so that goes back on the. It's just as possible that's aliens.
True.
This is another technology.
Yeah, but it comes back to the teapot.
yeah, but
There's a theory that there's a teapot flying around space.
and we just can't see it because it's how
So
are we ever going to prove it?
exactly, you can't prove it. So
It
what's
must
the point of arguing about
But
it?
again, that's more of an argument against a god, necessarily.
It's an argument about anything that requires too much proof that's really hard to get. You
Yeah.
could figure it out, but is it worth the effort?
They're out there.
It's a teapot.
They're
Who
out
gives a fuck?
Listen, we have a Stargate program.
Oh god.
Oh God.
They were rainbows are just interdimensional gateways.
Oh God.
Did you know that rainbows were supposed to have don't have 7 colors?
Cool.
The reason they have 7 colors is because the guy who really wrote about them thought 7 was a magical number, so he used that.
You know that
Also,
was-
Nephilims are real.
Yeah.
What's a Nephilim?
It's the creatures created when the angels fuck the humans.
Yep.
Yep, it's a
Nephilims
Bible
are
thing.
real, and I guess only copper can kill them, and they eat human flesh.
Did you guys know
They're
that all
Benthites.
rainbows in Wisconsin lead to either a Culver's or a Quick Trip?
All the what?
That makes sense.
Rainbows in Wisconsin lead to Culver's or Quick Trip.
That's awesome.
Your rainbow is not correct in the state of Wisconsin. Doesn't lead to a Quick Trip or a Culver's. You're gonna have to
But-
go get us ice cream now.
Honestly, though,
So let's talk about this in this way. Is there anything wrong with believing in aliens?
no. I mean, not as right.
Yes,
What?
when you take it too far.
Well, yeah, anything in extreme, but let's just be practical, not try and be
Yeah.
an extreme about it. There's nothing wrong with believing in fairy tales. I mean, a lot of people believe in God.
True.
But anyway,
We teach our children to believe
Santa
in
Claus,
Santa
yeah.
Claus,
Tooth
the Easter
Fairy.
Bunny, Tooth Fairy.
so it's not any different. It's a hopeful thing, and yeah, we can hope that there might be a good outcome, and that it might magically solve all our problems too. But then again, you can't. So with the problem that it brings though is when you stop trying to improve or trying to find your own solution, because you're waiting for it to be handed to you,
Right.
or even worse, and this is the one that actually pisses me off, when you take human accomplishment and belittle it by saying that it was an alien gift.
Right. Yeah. No, I can understand that. Yeah.
Like, the fucking pyramids were built by slave labor, not fucking aliens.
I thought they proved that it wasn't slaves though.
I know, they would have been more educated than a slave, but that's bullshit. They still needed people
Well, yeah,
at
they
all
needed the
rocks.
labor to do it.
Yeah.
I think it's possible that there was a society who were more technically advanced than we think they were.
Yeah.
But I'm not necessarily certain it was aliens. But there also brings back the question of, did aliens see life on our planet?
Why the fuck were they enlarging their skulls?
What do you mean?
Tribes in South America that bound
Yeah.
their skulls at birth to enlarge them, kind of like the aliens.
They thought it would give them bigger brains.
Could-
Didn't they say that wasn't there like a group of people that believe that the Nazis had all this tech because of
Yeah.
aliens? Because
Yeah.
at that point in time, their tech prowess was more advanced than
It's easy
the
to
rest.
advance when you're locking people in concentration
Exactly.
camps
Oh,
and
yeah.
doing tests
So-
and studies on them.
Like she said, plus they did have a lot of scientific power. They put a lot of money into science. The Germans
Yep.
have always
Yes.
been very forward-thinking
Yes.
people.
But I'm just saying that.
I
To
know.
your point of people
Yeah,
attributing shit
and
to
that's
aliens.
always been a thing about Hitler's occult. He was fascinated with the occult and shit, and who knows, he might have believed a lot of it, and who knows, there might have been some of
The
it.
guy was on meth all the time, so.
I would believe in the occult too.
But do you guys think that at some point we will come in contact with another species? And if not within our universe, do you think it would be possible, if the multiverse theory is correct, that we would interdimensionally be able to come in contact with another species?
Multidimensionally, it's a higher probability. Now, the thing is, we are still thinking that we'll run across another speaking creature.
Mhm.
We might run across a thing made out of silicone or some other, because we're carbon based.
Right.
So everything here is carbon based. They might have another base to their life. So
Well, that's another thing that is very interesting, is that a lot of biologists will think they really want, even if it's just a cell, They want to be able to study another form of life so that they can see, is the only way to produce life with our specific, proteins and the way they bind, or is there another way from the body to create it?
Birds.
They're carbon based.
No, but birds. I think that birds
Are
are
aliens?
aliens. Because
Do they
most
work-
bird species can replicate human speech. And
No,
speak
they-
first.
No, they can't.
Do they
There's
work-
a small percentage of them that can do that.
Sorry,
Do
a
the
small
birds-
percentage of those birds, and those birds are aliens.
Do the birds work for the bourgeoisie too?
Yeah,
Are they
Some.
all just government drones?
they're running French.
So-
They're all drones. They're not real.
So on that note, though, there is an ocean floor volcano thingy where they found sulfur-based life.
Not quite.
Okay.
So they're still carbon based, but they survive on
Yep,
the sulfur
yep.
fumes.
Cool.
I just like the theory that aliens were all like maybe we did evolve naturally, but then they were all like, let's do some experiments on some monkeys. And that's how we became conscious.
I prefer the big mouth theory where the alien just comes here and fucks the earth.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, that does go along with a lot of our mythology.
Yeah, usually something fucks something and weird shit happens.
Yeah.
Mushrooms. No, mushrooms are alien.
That one I could believe.
They're the real dominant species.
Yeah,
They're
but we eat
superior
them.
to us
I mean, I
in
know a
every
lot
way,
of them
shape,
could
and
kill
form.
us,
No,
but
you.
we found the weak ones.
I already told you this. We don't eat the mushroom. We eat the fruit.
Oh.
And then the mushrooms consume us.
Yeah.
They are going to
They eat us.
They
Yep,
are
yeah.
going to be so beneficial to us in space that we're going to take them with us to another planet and put
Well,
them there.
So I've never actually done it. I really want to try making one, but is it a terrarium where it's a closed ecosystem? That whole thing is pretty epic. Like you throw a few plants in some liquid and it just does things.
Just
Like why don't we do that? Why don't we just make a big terrarium and we sit in it?
They do.
I think
do
they have
that.
done
Do they?
experiments.
It's called a house.
I actually, Pauly Shore did that movie called Biodome about that.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm pretty sure there have been scientific researches on can life naturally, if you put all the products life needs and give it energy, can it create life? And I don't know.
Well,
what they
basically,
found,
if
but-
you throw a seed into one of those things, it'll keep.
Yeah, but I'm talking the base proteins and molecules you would need, and then stimulate that with electricity or something. Will they bind together, give them enough energy?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like.
Hey, Frankenstein tried that.
Yeah. Well, and honestly.
Again, no,
that
he
works.
is taking other humans and putting them together. I am talking about
Yeah.
base
So,
biology and
I
chemistry.
think the closest thing we have is, like Megan was talking about before, the vents. That's the best theory for where life started because we know so little about it that we can say, oh, maybe it was there.
Yeah.
But, what is life? Because that's part of the issue. Like, now that we're exploring space, right? There is, I can't remember what the exact procedure for determining whether something is life or not, but if I'm not mistaken, it's been rewritten several times because we keep discovering new definitions of life. So I think the last one was that it had to be carbon-based, which already is like...
I don't think so, because I know what you're talking about. I don't have my phone. Because I learned them back in 9th grade in biology, and I remembered I would never forget it, because I was like, ha!
But that's what
I
I'm
can
talking about. They
fight
changed
people.
that.
Right.
So... No, go ahead. I don't know. I don't remember what it is.
My thing doesn't have anything to do with
Okay,
this.
go ahead.
My thing is, so two questions. Which one would be worse? There are other species of aliens out in the planet. So, if we are able to go outside of our solar system, blah, blah, and we find nothing, or will it be better if we do find more species and realize we're not alone? Because, think about what that would do to the human psyche if we realize, oh, we are just some kind of fucking freak accident. What the fuck does that mean for us? Whereas if we do find
That's
other
what I thought.
species, it's like, okay, life naturally...
It's still the same.
Okay.
There's 7, and it requires movement, breathing or respiration, excretion, growth, sensitivity, and reproduction.
Okay. So that's
Some
what it means.
non-living things may show 1 or 2 of these characteristics, but living things show all 7.
So
Okay.
what if, throwing it out there, what if there was another species capable of space travel and they saw that this planet was just run by these gigantic ass lizards and they were like, shit, nothing's gonna live here, and that's why they caused the asteroid to not kill off the dinosaurs, and then they
Fuck the planet?
came here.
They what's the word? They inhabited the planet.
Mm-hmm.
So we're the descendants of aliens?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh boy.
That's
I mean that's not just a theory.
That's
but-
been talked about. There's a show on History Channel called Ancient Aliens.
Yes.
They've talked
Yes.
about it.
So I still want your guys to answer my question. Which do you think would be worse for humanity? Nothing or something?
So
something.
You think that'd be worse for us?
here's I get where you're coming with that. You want to explain?
Okay, why it would be worse for something is because now we're going, well, in my opinion, it'd be worse because we're going to spend a bunch of money and time and resources into trying to make contact with this other life form that could possibly be super aggressive, and then we bring doom upon ourselves. But then there's the other side where it's like that could be super beneficial because now we can, we can potentially share in these resources to keep our planet going. But I think it would be bad. I don't think it would hurt us psychologically, or it would hurt our psyche if we were like, oh shit, we're the only people out here.
I think it would, because we would become even more full of ourselves.
So I would actually agree with Cody. I would say that life out there would probably actually be bad for us, because think about a race's reason for space travel. It has to do with preserving whatever you have because you've utilized all the resources around you. So now you're looking for more resources. It's more likely that they would find us because of the type of planet we have, and they want to use it for their resources, or they want to use us for their resources. Who knows? Isn't that what War of the Worlds did?
So
We were fertilizer.
That and if there was a more advanced alien civilization out there besides us, and we were like, shit, we want what they have, and we try to start a war. Now we've got to try to get every fucking country and form of government together, and it would just cause more fighting and more pain.
I disagree.
Well,
I
that's
think
your opinion.
the moment that so was everything
I
you
know.
just said. But anyway, I think the moment that we find there's other things that people would unite because of that's different.
Yep.
We're afraid of different. We're all
Yep.
the same.
Finally, we wouldn't care what color the skin
Right.
of a human was because we were human.
We
and
find
they're
a new
not.
thing to hate,
Yes.
basically, and so
That's why I think
it
it's
would.
bad.
I honestly think it would either go that direction, or it would go more towards like in Futurama, where there was a coexistence, a weird coexistence, but it was still very open and very weird. However, if there is nothing, I have a feeling that so many people would just lose all hope.
Yes, okay, that is what I think too. That so why the fuck are we here? This isn't natural, maybe, and then we would just go back to a religious society that spans many planets.
Yep.
So I guess honestly, I would be more worried about there being nothing than there being something, in my opinion. Even if we do get wiped out, I don't know. I still guess that I would rather see our society have to face another species than revert back to, oh, we're so special that blah 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 blah.
Because it would literally go either way. It would be like, oh, God only made us and everything belongs to us, or there is no God, there is nothing, we were an accident.
Right.
Fuck it. And you just have mass suicides happening.
Ugh. Well, I mean, I'd still be here, so I'd be fine.
That's the problem. Me personally, I don't care about much. I really don't. So if there was nothing out there, wouldn't bother me. If
It's
there was
not gonna
something
change
out
my
there,
life. I'm
yeah.
still gonna be a teacher.
If there was something out there, it wouldn't bother me.
I'm not talking about reasonable people. I'm talking about the people,
Yeah, the fanatics who are like, oh, I know they exist, I saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that we could do without that population.
Exactly.
That's
That's
why
what
I
I
don't
was gonna
care.
say.
It's because those people are hindering us.
Yep.
So that's
now,
why.
here's the thing. And now I'm going to play for, because I've been against this whole time. There's so many accounts in so many different cultures, in so many religions, that could be explained by simply calling them aliens instead of
Angels.
that makes you wonder.
I still think the more likely scenario for that is drugs, but yes. But then again, you do have accounts like I think it's
How many religions have carriages of fire
Yes,
that
that's
roam
exactly
through
what I was gonna
the
bring up.
space? I mean, I get it. Some of them were just meteors and shit like that, and comets. But there was so many that were like literally landed and things got out.
Yeah.
That it's like, they weren't tripping that hard. I've done quite a bit of stuff, and I've never tripped to that point.
Right.
Like, even when I saw a dragon, I knew it wasn't a real dragon.
So,
moral,
final
I
thoughts?
was gonna say moral of the story: society and aliens. Humans are dicks, and we should work on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's life out there. And I wouldn't be upset with it coming here, and I wouldn't be upset with it not coming here. So either way, my life doesn't change.
I mean, just the fact that we're seeing that, from looking at Mars and now another planet, I don't remember which one, they said that they found traces of, like, water sources and shit on there. I think it's very possible, and that, through whatever reasoning, they just became uninhabitable. But if it happens, great. If it doesn't happen, great. Like I said, we could really do without the fanatics.
So, long story short, we should work on ourselves.
Yeah.
If by some chance there's another space creature out there, we should become a little bit more conscientious and improve so that when we do meet them, we don't come across as dicks.
Yeah,
we can
Right.
somehow...
I mean, we can't
The
even
better
treat our
neighbor.
own people right.
Yep.
So how are we going
And
to
if there is nothing there, what's the worst that will happen? We're better people
Yeah, we're
for
nicer
it.
people.
Yep.
So,
We need to be
Yeah.
the Ned Flanders of planets.
no, Ned Flanders was a murderer.
Yeah, but I mean, before
That's
he
a
was
terrible thing.
Before he was a murderer,
He was
a very
always
good guy.
a murderer. He just finally snapped. You need to stop talking. This is the Joker all
Wow.
over again.
He wasn't a bad guy.
But anywho.
Yeah. Bye.
Fuck this segment. Fuck you.
He didn't even want to be in it.
I didn't want to be in it.
Made
You
him.
forced my hand.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed the conversation, come and meet us again, and like, subscribe, share, leave us a comment. We really want to hear about your feedback, and hit that little bell for us, and you can get updates every Friday for when we put out a new video.